have to put my dash back together, so I figured I'd make a video in case somebody either has to put their dash back together or they want to take it apart. You could use this video for taking it apart, just kind of reverse the process. If you are going to take it apart, I kind of recommend you move this back first, and that's especially if you're going to need to get to that bottom plate. I'll show you why, or show you how to do that. Let's slide this. Ooh, okay, so there's a screw there and a screw there on both sides. And you take that and you just take them out in the middle. Let's just move this piece around here. And by sliding that back, there might be some down here. I think there's also a screw right down there, both sides. But once you slide this back, then it'll let you slide the center console back, and it just has screws, kind of the same deal on the sides here. And what that does is gives you clearance to get this all out, and that'll make sense in just a bit. Just wanted to point that out. You might as well just start right there if you're taking it apart. So I'm putting it back together, so that's about all I'm going to say about putting it, if you're taking it apart. First thing I think I'll start with is just this side panel. It has a hole here, which you kind of don't really need. It's nice to have it, the bolt for it, but I don't have it. So you want to look, it's got clips here, and they'll kind of line up on here, and it sits really hard over to the side. And so all I'm going to do is put it in place. Some things that you'll want to note is this cutout here. That's where your brake, which mine's broken. I'll make another video on how I'm going to fix this on here. It needs to be, completely in there, and again, there's more slots there. So I'm just going to put this on because I need two hands, and then I'll show you what it looks like there. And I'm focusing on getting these clips slid into these slots along up and down here. Okay, I got it in. I want to show you a couple keys. You can't really see it from here, but on this piece there's a long piece that goes in there. Kind of focus on that. It's an important piece to keep it up to the side. Again, I got those clips down there. It should be nice and tight against the wall like that. There's that hole down here, and there's a bracket behind that. You kind of keep an eye on that hole back there. It should line up. And then your OBD2 connector, that goes on the outside. So as you're bringing this in, you might not realize that and can't figure out why you're getting in. You kind of slide it in like that, and that's how your brake cable should look. And don't force it. If it's fighting you, you got something misaligned, it should go in real gentle and just kind of snap into place. And if you do it right, it's actually kind of firm without those extra bolts and stuff on there. And I tend to leave them off just so I can get in there, because I work on my cars a lot. But it is a good idea to put the bolts back in there, which this one didn't have any, so I don't know what they, can't show them to you. Anyway, so that's the first piece I decided to put in. Next I'm going to do the stereo. Oh, I wanted to make a recommendation. You just get little Ziploc bags, and as you take things apart, put them in there and try to label them, or at least set them up or write them down or something. That being said, I got also another trick you can do is, like, I just happen to know, I kind of pieced it together, laid them out, and it was too much time has not passed, so I kind of know where these went. But another option, like these are going to go up here, is you could put them in, screw them in a little bit, and so you won't be looking around for them. The only thing I don't like about that is sometimes you don't see the screws, because there's some like way up high and stuff, and you might be fighting to put a piece in, not realizing you left a screw in. So that side, when it comes to your dash, is not always the best of ideas. Anyways, so next I'm going to put this in. It's just a bracket here and a bracket there, and if you look at your dealio here, it's just got some plastic tabs here, and all I'm going to do is lift it up, mount it. Now note the, I'll get a zoom in on this. There's little holes right there, and on the back, see, there's little tabs that go into those holes. Sorry about the shaky camera there. So you want to make sure you line that stuff up. Again, you shouldn't force anything. If you're forcing it, something's going wrong. You should just gently slide all in place. Honda's really good about making really good fitting stuff. So all I'm going to do is I'll lift this up, put those bolts in, and show you what that looks like. Okay, so I put this piece in. It's just got those screws there, same on the other side. Actually, I should have probably put the center piece in first, because that's the reason why you need to get this piece out, because that'll hit on a lot of stuff. But I hopefully have enough clearance. But that's what I'm going to put in next. And on this, it's fairly simple. Just watch, before you put it in, just look for all your tab holes. And those should be all screw locations. The center, there, and there. And also, on the back, it's got those, again, those little nubs to help you line stuff up. And this one, usually there's little metal tabs on it, but I'm not seeing any on them. And I'll show you when I do come across one. This piece actually might not have any. So all it does is it just kind of, again, there's another little alignment mark. I'm just going to slide it up in there. Oh, don't forget to hook up your cord for your, oh shucks. Gotta find that, my cigarette lighter cord. It's back there. Yeah, so that's a good point. Put this on first. That way you won't have to fish out your cigarette lighter cord. In fact, I might end up having to pull that out to find that cord. I'm not going to show you that, but I'll let you know if that's what I had to do. Luckily that cord just sits right up here, so I'm in luck. So it's just a little, only plugs in one way. That goes to your cigarette lighter. Okay, it looks like it's going to go in. A couple notes along the way is you need to drop your glove box down so you can get this side up in there. And if you need to drop it down all the way, you just squeeze the sides of this glove box in, and you can drop this glove box down. And to put it back up the way it is now, you just again squeeze it. And there's little plastic tabs that clear the side rail there. But so here, get one hand there. So this will just go up in there. And then I'm going to put the screws in, and it only goes in one side. I was able to get it over that once I open this up. Alright, got the center piece in. There's one funny screw, it's bigger, that goes, I believe it went here. That's where I put it because I had the most surface area. But I remember it did go inside the glove compartment. There's a better shot. Those tab things I was talking about. You just squeeze this in, and that clears the side railing. I ended up dropping it down so I'd have more room to see what I was doing, putting those up in there. Those are a little bit coarser thread, it's a little bit bigger than the other ones. And again, that's a really big one. The other side's just like this over there. Just went up. Here, I'll show you a shot of that side. Alright, right down here. That's the bottom one right there. And then there's one up top there. And then I'll decide what I'm going to put on next. Probably going to put this piece on next because it's pretty straightforward. You do have these connectors to deal with. But let me go find that piece. Okay, on this one, this is a really good example of those metal clips I was talking about earlier. And what I like to do is I like to shoot heavy duty silicone on it. That just makes them slide in. When you're getting to assemble it, you don't want it to dry. You shoot it on there while it's still a little bit wet. It'll slide everything in really good. And then as it dries, it'll leave a slight residue behind, but not very much. So it's a really good trick to connecting stuff up. On these guys, they're just straightforward. You just plug them in to the correct connectors there. And then there's only going to be, here's 1, 2, and then 3 screw holes. And when you put up the panel, you just put the 3 screws in there. And most of it's being held up by these clips. And the clips are just like right here. There's a screw hole. Let's see, I think there's a screw hole up here. And there's a screw hole down here. And there should be, I think there's another clip up there. Yeah, so there's 3 clips. I guess you could, all the clips go along the top, it looks like. I don't think I might have some broken off, but I don't see any broken off. And yeah, that's about it. And then we got alignment tabs to help you out with stuff. Anyway, so I'm just gonna clip the wires in, put it up there, and after I get the metal, oh, watch these things here. There's tabs on the side, and they'll slide into there to help get a nice finish. When you get done, it should look like this. You know, nice seam there. Oh, almost forgot to mention, I don't know if you notice how nice and clean this is. It's not going to look like this when you take it off. It's going to be all nasty and dirty. What I like to use, I've been using this a little bit, just some simple green. This one says simple green all-purpose. I'll put a link to this. But as I take stuff like this off, I'll spray the back of this and the front, let it soak for a few minutes, and then just hose it off. And I didn't have to scrub or anything on this, and it comes out looking way nicer, and it's a lot more, yeah, it's probably not very healthy having that nasty stuff on the inside of it. Anyways, just thought I'd show that little trick. Okay, I just have it snapped in place with those clips, but I want to show you. I actually start with this corner. I push this in flush and then push that in. It's easier with two hands. You hold it down here in the other hand, you pop that clip in. Even though it's going to pop out again, then make sure you got that seam I was talking about, and that'll give you your initial alignment point. You can go through and hook up the other things. Also, you want to support the connectors on this side. If you don't, with the other hand, when you push it, it'll pop out. If it does, you just pop it back in. Alright, I'm getting ready to put this guy in, the center stick shifter deal. Just want to show you a couple bonus things on here. So, if you know, these things get torn up over time, if you ever have to replace them, you just take it off, and there's screws in the back here. You should just take those screws off, and it's got little slots here. That thing should just come right out. There's some of those metal clips, so put some silicone on those. These side ones here, oops, that's another clip, and I'm missing the one on that one there. I thought, probably I'll have to keep an eye out, try to find like a source for those. But you just have screw here, same on the other side. And that should be about it for putting that in. I just washed it off. It's that simple green. This one's pretty rough. We're gonna keep an eye out. So this is a fun thing about Civics. There's so many of them out there. Just wait for one to crash, and then we can buy body parts off other people. So, like, I'd be considering replacing this just because it looks kind of worn. Anyway, as soon as that dries, I'll just put that in there, and I'll show you that when I get to it. Alright, getting ready for the install. The ball on this thing, this is screw on and off. So you have that off already. And those metal tabs, that one I was showing you was missing, they just like clip onto here, and then it's going to screw on here, and I believe the other hole is right back here. And if you look at it, it's all kind of right in that area. Got the two holes up there and that clip, and that's about it. So I'm just going to set that in there, and I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, here's a really good shot as to why you want to take this off first, or slide it back. See, I need that gap there so I can move this in and out, and see how that goes in the lip. You're not gonna, I don't think you can get this off without taking this piece off. So what I want to show you here is when you kind of push it, you'll feel those clips go in that I showed you, and then your screws should perfectly line up when you have it in correct, and you know, you'll have a nice seam to everything there. So all I'm going to do is put the screws in on both those sides, and I'll be done with that. And maybe I'll put this on right now. That just screws on there. Oh, also I want to say on all this stuff, you don't want to tighten anything down super tight. You want to make it snug, especially when I'll finish that in a second. Like these screws and or the screws I'm going to put in right here. I'm going to put them in snug. I'm not going to tighten them, or you'll just strip things out. You don't want to make them too tight. Just snug them up. Alright, so I'm just about done. All I'm going to do is slide this forward. Oh, guess I did that. The holes should all line up. There's one on each side up front here, and then two in the back here and here, and I'll flip the seat forward to get at the back ones there. So I just have to put those in, and then I'm pretty much done, except for that side panel, which I'm going to leave out for a little bit longer. That's pretty much it. I guess if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and below, and hope this video helps somebody out there. You have a great day.